So now we're going to talk a little bit about the scripts. We saw before that the scripts are located either in the scripts directory, which is here, or the send to scripts directory. And we said the send to scripts directory are the scripts that we use to deliver an attachment or a file to the correct destination. And here we're just going to talk about the different types of scripts available with Reform. The first one is the page process script. It can be used to modify your form on the fly, and this script runs once for each page in your data stream. If I go to my designer and I look at my text layer, I'm going to put a new text box over, let's say, this company, and I'm going to look at the properties here. Each property or each object on the form has a property called name. I'm going to call this the name of this object customer. You can see it changes in this object list as well. So here I have my customer name. And now if I open my script debugger, I'm just going to start a new script. And I'm going to say print underscore customer name. And save this as Reform sample. So when you look at the customer name object, you can see it has HGC heavy equipment. And when I run this script, I could run it either by clicking this button here, or I could go line by line by clicking this one. So I'm just going to run this. Oh, I didn't call it customer name, I call it customer. When I run this, this will actually display whatever I have on this form. So here it says HGC heavy equipment. Now this print statement basically just tells it to show me on the screen or create like a message for me. So if I do sample, it's just going to show me sample. So what the script has the ability to do is, let's say for instance we had something instead of the company name, we had a price, let's say the total. So here we have our total. So I'm going to change the name of this object to total. Now when I say print total, when I run this script, it's going to give me the price that the total was. So with the script, we actually have the ability to set conditions. Let's say, for instance, if the total was greater than 1,000, if the total is greater than 1,000, we're going to print expensive. Otherwise, we're going to print cheap. So when I run this, you can see it says expensive. And this is because if we look at our total, it's 1,600. So it's more than 1,000. If we go to page 2 and we run this same script, it's going to say cheap because the total is only 300 for page 2. Now, instead of just printing something, let's say we wanted something to happen on our form. Let's say I need something to say, I'm going to call this approve. I'm going to change the text to say approval required. So let's say I wanted to say that approval required is needed if the total is larger than 1,000. So I can actually go like this and say, so here, if I run this script, you can see the total is less than 1,000, and you can see the message disappeared. If I go back to page 1, where the total is 1,600, and I run the script, you can see approval required comes back on the screen. What this allows to do is basically create conditions and modify your form on the fly. Now, I'm just giving a simple example of, if the total is too large or something like that, and just display and hide text. But you can also modify the text as well. Let's say, instead of approval required, we want approval is required for the cost of, and then we want to fill in the total price. Now when I run this script, you can see it fills in the text that I typed in my script right on the form. So this type of script you can use to modify your form, modify the way it looks, as well as make different conditions to do the different types of options. This script can be set to run once for every page of the document. So this will run if the document, for example, this document is 4 pages long, this script will run 4 times, once for each page. To use this script, you would simply, let's say, go to File, Form Properties, and this is called the page process script. So I would just say Open, and I would select the script that I just created called Reform Sample. Say OK. Now, anytime I print this document, it's going to run this script on each page. The next type of script is called a device script, or a send-to script. These are the send-to scripts that we saw in that directory we were talking about before, such as the decision maker or save-to-file scripts. These deliver the PDF or TIFF image to the selected destination, and opposed to, or I guess kind of like the opposite of a page process script, the page process script runs once for each page, while the device script runs once for each print job. So, for example, a device script is, if we open our Send to Scripts folder, and then Save to File, you can see here it's a little bit more complicated, but this is basically just creating the directory that we want to save the attachment to. The last type of script is a standalone script or a service, and these can run as like an application or a service. They can run in the background or it can require user interaction. Now, the scripting language is similar for all of them. It's all the same language and same application. However, in the page process and the device scripts, there's a few extra variables that are kind of custom to Reform for those two. The page process script is used for modifying information on your form or accessing the information on it. You can also change the image or data based on conditions. Send-to scripts are located on the Perform Send-to scripts directory, and each send-to device is actually just a script that's run. It can be customized, and these are just some examples of the page scripts specific variables. You could find out the name of the spooler file, how many pages are in the document, like how many pages are in the data stream, the current form name, the page number, different directories. And the device script has a job start and job end. Those are useful when you're using a break field because the starting page and ending page can change. There's also different ways to access what's on your form, as well as the attachments. Now, something to cover a little bit, if you plan on using any scripting, is the track value option. If you select any of these text fields on your form, you'll notice there's a property that's called track value. And this is important if you're going to do any kind of scripting with Reform. Basically, each page of this document, the data is changing. What track value does is allow you to access each page or each object from each page by using track value. If you leave track value off and you try and access this object from the script, it's only going to give you one value. Whereas if you turn track value on, you could, if I wanted to use the value from page 1 or page 2, I could easily access those. So if you're going to use scripting, the track value option is a important property to use. If we look at our LPD server, just to kind of continue a little bit with the script, if I go to my Q directory, maybe not Q, miscellaneous directory, sorry. The LPD server actually uses a script as well. If we open the lpdserver.fbs file, we can see that there's different variables that we can use from the LPD server. It can use the host name, username, the queue name, as well as the name of the file to determine where the file should go. So the script here is just like the other scripts included with Reform. The script for the LPD server runs the same way. The LPD server gathers the data and then executes the script. So if you needed to customize where the document went, this is the script that you would need to customize.